Next one is on Second Amendment. Okay, and where do you stand, or what's your support as far as how we look at making laws, provisions, etc. for the Second Amendment? Those things that could be infringed upon, or just your thoughts as we look at that. We'll start with Kevin.
I'm not a gun owner. I don't have a gun, but I do think the Constitution in the Second Amendment says that we have the right to bear arms, and I don't think we should touch that at all. If you want to own a gun, I think you have the right to own a gun, but it also means if I don't want to own a gun, I don't have to own one also. I would not support any restrictions on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, no, the Second Amendment, if anything, that's a right that we've almost embraced even more so as the years have unfolded. Initially, that was kind of thought of in conjunction with militias. We didn't have the police forces and the sheriff's office and those sort of things to the same extent. But in the not too distant past, the Supreme Court has ruled in its Heller decision that this is an individual right. So it is an unabridgable right. I mean, this is Sioux County. We love our guns, right? They're out hunting all the time, whether it's pheasant or heading out for deer and stuff. So yeah, it's something that people should be entitled, have the right to bear. It's one of the most cherished.
Skyler.
I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment. I've been to many Second Amendment events around the county, even out here. Particularly, I would like to help push stand your ground legislation in. My wife and I were taking a license to carry class here in the state of Iowa, and they told us the first thing you need to do is retreat. I'm sorry, if I'm in my house, I'm not going to retreat. I should not have to. So stand your ground is absolutely necessary. The second thing I'd like to do is get a constitutional carry passed, where government doesn't need to have a permit to know that I want to carry my gun. I should be allowed to. That's in the Second Amendment. That's what the founders had designed, and that's what they had thought of. They didn't think of these restrictions that they've been putting on them. And even now, I believe it is in Connecticut, they're trying to attack the gun manufacturer for the shooting there at the school. I mean, that's how crazy things are getting. So absolutely strong on the Second Amendment, standing ground, constitutional carry.
Can I add anything?
Quickly.
Brad? Okay, quickly. Yeah, no, I'm like Kevin. I guess I didn't should. I'm not a gun owner. My dad liked to hunt when I was growing up and stuff, but I don't have a gun. And there's no question, the Castle Doctrine, stand your ground. One of the things that I always challenge, and this Skyler might recall this from even being in my classroom and stuff, but at least personally, and this probably get me in trouble, but I just, as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus, I get nervous when I start hearing that. I don't know if suddenly, we leave our house unlocked in our city, for heaven's sake. But if somebody wasn't, I probably would fly in to protect my wife and my kids and stuff. But there is something about, turning the other cheek and going the second mile, and it's like, gosh, I don't know if we're supposed to be so aggressive. Maybe we are supposed to back up. So,
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Well, you wouldn't have to if we didn't have things going on like we have nowadays. We have an increase in crime and rape. Up here it's a little bit different. We live in a much nicer area, but when you're in Des Moines and you're in Omaha and places like that, the Second Amendment becomes a very big deal. When you're in Chicago, where you're not supposed to own a gun, but all the criminals have the guns, it'd be nice to have a gun. So I'm not saying go out there, go shoot somebody, but you should have the right. If you're in your house and somebody's coming to attack you and your family, if you need to do it, then you need to do it. That's the bottom line.
Kevin, anything you want to add?
The only thing I can say about the stand your ground law, when I was in Des Moines, I had John Wills introduce me, and I can't remember the representative's name. He's supposed to be the Second Amendment guy in the House of Representatives. He said, we do not need that in Iowa. Our laws are fine they are. You don't have to retreat. He said, that's what he told me, that he was the leading Second Amendment guy.
Matt Winchell?
I think that was Matt.
But Matt, Matt will have her. Yeah.
But I asked him that very same thing, because I've been getting questions on it, that you have to retreat, and he said that's really not true. You don't have to. That was his opinion.